Wonderful. Okay, hello everybody. All right, so are getting on. Let's just do some housekeeping and then I'll do some like introductions and then we'll get started. So make sure you are muted. You can definitely have your camera on if you want to, but be muted in case you are talking, like if you decide to ask a question or answer a question or something like that, just so we don't have any background noise. So if you're not familiar with Zoom, you can do that by like hovering over your own video and clicking mute, or you can do it down below at the bottom left of your screen. If you're on a phone, it's going to look different, but I think the mute button is the bottom left again. So if you are joining us on Facebook, if you're watching this on Facebook in the Revolutionary Leadership Collective, let us know where you are watching from. Let us know like if you want the Zoom link so you can join us in here. Otherwise, you are definitely welcome to stay in there and watch in the Facebook group. For everybody else who's watching in Zoom, thank you guys for being here. I'm so excited to get this week started off. I love these launch weeks. We're so excited. And then tell us where you are watching from. So I'm in Kansas City, Missouri, and this is actually my last launch in this house. So if you guys have done these launches before, you've seen this background a million times. I'm actually moving to an apartment. It's kind of a little upgrade. It's less than a mile away, but so this will be the last time you see me in here, and the next trainings and stuff like that will be with a different background in a different place. So I'm excited. So I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. I see some other KC people. So I see Emily, and then I've got my team on as well. So yeah, she's in Washington. So Mackenzie is the virtual assistant who works with my company. I love having her on the team. She's the best. And then we have Becca, who's from Pennsylvania, and she is our group engagement manager for this challenge this week. And when I say challenge, like it's supposed to be like a good kind of challenge. When you hear that, you're going to have like practice prompts. We changed the name from homework because it's stuff that you can actually apply and you can practice at work right now. Oh yeah, Benjamin, he's from Kansas City, Missouri. Also, I see that we have, let me see the list here. Chat. We have, St. Paul, Minnesota. Awesome. Angie, I've been to Minneapolis. I think that I've ventured into St. Paul before. I love it. Oh, and Sarah Smith is from KC. And then is it Annette, who's the safety net name, Mentor, Alabama. Yeah, and we actually have a connect call you might want to reschedule. Let's see. Oh, and then Clint on Facebook is watching from Texas, San Angelo. That's fun. Okay, so we have people from all over. This is awesome. So as we're getting started, keep letting us know where you're watching from, what you're excited about to learn like this week. So I'm really excited to jump into this stuff. The reason that I even do these free trainings and teach people this kind of stuff is because I am so passionate about people not hating where they work and actually liking going to work and seeing their coworkers and working with people in an effective way, effective, fun, fulfilling, satisfying, engaging way. I was actually just looking at a stat the other day that said that employees who do not feel connected with their team are 60% more likely to start looking for another job, because connecting with your team is so important. And connecting isn't just talking, it's like truly connecting on a personal level. So we'll get into stuff like that this week. We're condensing this. This is usually more of like a full 9-day training. And we were like, this is too long. We've done these trainings before. We're doing 3 days this time. So it's going to be a lot of information. Remember, this is free. I'm giving this information away because I want you guys to be able to use it as managers and to use these management and these leadership skills to be like excellent people, excellent bosses, excellent coworkers who make an impact within your organizations. Oh, I see Louisville, Kentucky. I was actually just there recently. I guess it was like September. So Louisville, did I say Louisville? I'm sorry if I did. Louisville, Kentucky. I was actually just there and we did the Bourbon Trail. It was so fun. So yeah, like let us know. And if you don't have a workbook already, Becca's going to drop the link to the workbook in the chat. And this is a great way to like keep notes of all this information. It's a lot of stuff. And so you might like be like, oh my God, like where should I be taking notes on this? You can absolutely do that in a notebook. You can do it in this workbook. We made this for you so that you can download it. And I recommend downloading it and then opening it like in a viewer, like if you have a Mac in preview. It's a fillable PDF, so you can do it that way. We noticed that some of the hyperlinks may not work. And so if you're like, oh, I don't know how to get on a Connect call, Becca will drop that link for you also, because everybody gets a 20-minute call with me just to connect. And so I really encourage you guys to book that either for this I mean, I think you can even book it this afternoon or any day this week, because I want to connect with you guys so that you can have a better experience. The more I know about you guys, the more I can customize this training to the needs of what you have this week. So let me know what those are. Again, the workbook is in the chat. So just open that up, save a copy for yourself, download it to your computer or whatever. And if you are somebody who likes to write instead, that is awesome. I'm kind of that way too sometimes. So print it out. You're welcome to do that. And make sure you save it if you're using it on your computer, save it each day and bookmark it or something in your Chrome tabs or whatever you use so that you can go back to it. So again, thank you guys so much for like carving out time in your schedule to become a more excellent leader, to be revolutionary in this way. I know that people who work with me, who do these trainings and things like that, like sometimes they're like, I am just so burned out. I had one person last time say, I've been miserable. Like I'm miserable leading my team. I didn't know management was going to be so hard. I didn't know it was going to be such an emotional process. I didn't know that people were going to be so combative sometimes. And I know that not every experience is translatable to everybody else, but you may be having another kind of struggle. Maybe you are like, God, it takes so much more time than I thought, or I don't even know the basics of this. And this is what I've noticed so often. The reason I do these trainings too is because people like are just thrown into management positions sometimes without ever really even knowing what to do. Like what are the management skills I need to have? What are some basic leadership skills I need to have? And they don't ever even have training or development around that. And so here it is. I'm giving you guys some free training and development, and then you have some opportunities at the end of the week to figure out how to work with me even more and to get some like really, really deep help and coaching and things like that. So this is so important because you're going to have a way more effective team, lower turnover, way better retention for your team. And when you have more like consistency and highly engaged employees, you have a lot better outcomes. So pop in the chat, like what are some outcomes you're wanting to see from your team? What are some goals that you want to get from this training? Let me know kind of some of the stuff you're looking for so that I can know that kind of stuff and then work it in, because I love working in real life examples. So let me know some of the things you're wanting to get out of this program this week. Just let me know. And I see some familiar names and faces on here. So this is so exciting. I know that Becca and Mackenzie are also watching this in Facebook. And if you're watching this as a replay, also let us know that you're watching it somewhere else. Let us know you're watching this as a replay. You can type in the chat #replay, and we will be able to answer any questions that you have if you watch this at a later time. We also have a 7 p.m. that if you have to hop off during this like lunchtime, you can watch at 7 p.m. Central. I'll be back on Zoom doing the same training. So let's go ahead and get started. So make sure you open your workbook. You can get acquainted with who I am on the first couple of pages and then jump into day one. And we're going to talk about some of the pillars of what you're going to get out of this training and what you need to apply as a manager to really be an effective person so that you get the results that you want from your team, right? Okay, let's look at this. So first of all, you're going to see like the schedule in the workbook. And then on page 4, you'll see day 1, the 2 things holding you back from connecting with your team and getting them to do what you need them to do. And I don't mean that in a pushy or manipulative way. I literally am using these words because when I talk with so many managers like you guys, people are literally saying those exact words. I just need my team to do what I need them to do. And it may seem like, well, gosh, what a meta type of question, but we are really going to talk about how to get people inspired and motivated to do what you need them to. And we're going to like really give you some like practical takeaways. And it's going to be something that you can actually use to apply today. Hopefully today, like after you're done with this session, you can use what we learned. You can do the practice prompts, and then you can come back tomorrow and even say like, wow, I already practiced something that you taught me, Haley, and I'm already seeing a difference. That's my goal for you. This is not meant to be something that's in one ear and out the other and just a nice little lunch and learn kind of thing. Like that's my point of difference as a coach. I want people to get really big results. So let's think about like, what is that big gap that so many leaders have? What's that gap? I mean, so many leaders are lacking self-awareness. They're not emotionally intelligent. So when you think about what emotional intelligence is and how important it is for you as a manager, like start thinking about that. I want you like journal it in the workbook, pop it in the chat here. Let us know, like when you think of emotional intelligence, how does it make a difference? Well, when I think about it, it's about understanding my own emotions and then regulating those, right? There are 5 major components to emotional intelligence. And it's really different than classic intelligence, like being able to, do math in your head or know the answers and book smarts kind of thing, like IQ. It's not the same thing. It's really more about understanding yourself. So you have self-awareness, self-control, self-motivation, self-regulation, like intrinsic motivation to do the right thing and to have the ability to accomplish things. So when you are a really, really strong manager, you're going to be somebody who has a high level of emotional intelligence. The main thing I want to talk about today within that realm is self-awareness. The big gap that so many leaders, so many managers have is that they don't have a lot of self-awareness. So what does self-awareness mean to you guys? Pop it in the chat. I love to see what people think. Like, engage with me here. Tell me what you're thinking. The more you do that, the more I can customize this stuff and like answer questions or apply it to like what you're dealing with. So when I think of self-awareness, I think of understanding how I'm perceived by others. I'm also understanding like how I communicate, how I process things, how do I come off, how do others perceive me? So when I understand that better, I'm going to be a better manager. So if I'm leading this team, I have Mackenzie and Becca on my team, we have a couple other people who are not on right now. I need to know, like, what are the things about me that are going to like be the most inspiring for your team, that get them really excited and raring to go and like get them motivated? What are the things that are also going to bother them and annoy them? And you're going to have to kind of course correct or at least communicate about a lot. So I know for me, sometimes it's that I don't do things on time, or I forget about things. I'm not the most organized. Now I'm enthusiastic and excited and have great ideas and care really, really deeply. And I think I perform excellent work. Sometimes it's just not the most organized. So Mackenzie, my VA, helps me stay organized. We have that self-awareness, and we have a really, really good channel of communication between the two of us. And that makes the business so much better. I see Sophia, one of my best friends is named Sophia. You say self-awareness is understanding my effect on others. Oh, yes. How do I affect others? How do they perceive me? How does what I say to my team make them feel? What do they think about me? What do they think about the company? What do they get scared of me if I'm in an irritable mood? How do they behave when they're stressed? And then how do I like respond back to that? I see Benjamin says, set your boundaries. Oh yeah. But boundaries are such a good point in this. And the reason that we talk about like self-awareness so much also is because for managers, it's important for us to know this, because studies show that about 90%, 95, it's like really, really high percent of people think they are self-aware. And this is from like a researcher, Dr. Tasha Eurich, who does like, this is her specialty. It's all on self-awareness. And she has found that 95% of people think they're self-aware, but then when they do bigger research and like deeper data gathering from their teams, they can see that only about 10% truly are self-aware. So the people in the leadership or in the management are not really acknowledging or sharing the same things that their team is sharing about them that might annoy them, because they aren't willing to admit it. And like, let's just put it out there now. The longer you're in management, the longer you have like a lot of power. So like the higher level, and the longer you are in a powerful position in your company, or if you're like, you work for your city government or something like that. So like a government position, whatever it might be, the longer you're in that, the more likely you are to have a type of like brain damage. So they do brain scans of high level leaders. And what they found is that those leaders at those high levels, if they haven't like really been intentional about self-awareness and about being a really like strong leader who has a lot of integrity, they tend to have lack the ability to mirror others and to show empathy for their team or for other people in general. I mean, it is just wild. I see Lisa says self-awareness is how I form my self-concept. Yeah. My self-concept, my self-awareness. I mean, that's another, like, there's a lot of components to it, right? So that's the big gap. That's why we're talking about this. And just think about like how much stronger you could be as a leader, and how you would have, a team that wants to do great work for you. They want to get things done on time. They want to perform with excellence. You get accolades from people higher than you, and they're like, gosh, Lisa, you're running your team so well. Like, people are excited to come to work. They love doing their work. Like, think about how great that would be. Well, when you apply this stuff and you're highly self-aware, you're more emotionally intelligent and things like that, well, you can like, you can imagine it being such a life-changing event. Like, that's what I want to do for you guys. Work is such a big part of our lives. So why would we not want it to be something that is so fun and something that we look forward to? I know some people say, oh, it's called work for a reason. Just pay your dues and go to work and come home and be miserable about it. I just don't subscribe to that. That's why this group coaching program and like the free Facebook group is called the Revolutionary Leadership Collective, the Revolutionary Leadership Lab. It's not the same as just like what everybody out there is doing. That's so icky to me. We can have a much happier time at work and with our coworkers. So the skill that we have to use to become better at this is emotional intelligence, growing in that. And so that's something that I can talk with you guys about on your Connect calls, things like that. Make sure you book your Connect call, and I can give you some links to actually take assessments that show like where your level is with emotional intelligence and with self-awareness. So what are some tools that you can actually use to get better at your like level of self-awareness? Well, one of the first things I always tell people to do is take a couple of personality assessments. And maybe you already have a lot of like your personality assessment data, and that's awesome. Some of the ones that I use are the Myers-Briggs. So I know some people like are not into it. I think it's very, in my experience of using it and being certified, I think it's very accurate and it's incredibly helpful for understanding yourself and then also understanding your coworkers. Like you don't want to just use it for you. You want to use it for how does my type interact with other people. And same with the Enneagram. That's really ubiquitous right now. I feel like it's all over Instagram. Everybody's talking about the Enneagram. Those are the types that are numbers 1 through 9. So in your workbook, you have links to take both of those assessments. And if those links aren't working, just let us know. We can make sure that we send those, and we'll put them in the Facebook group too, because you'll share this information in the Facebook group and have a chance to win a copy of Dare to Lead by Brené Brown if you do the practice prompt or homework practice prompt. Put your answer in the Facebook group, or if you don't have Facebook, you can send it to hello@vaxacollective.com, and Becca will be monitoring that so that we can make sure everybody gets a chance to win. So take a personality assessment, take a couple, take a few, do whatever you want to do to figure out like how do I relate to the world? How do I gather information? How do I make my decisions? How do I base my, what do I base my decisions on? Is it feelings or is it logic? What's the blend of the two? What's my motivation? What's my core desire? Understanding that stuff about yourself will be like, oh, I have this like wild, like imagination that sometimes like it just goes wild. I know that about myself. I'm an Enneagram 7. I'm the enthusiast. I love to think of big ideas and do big things. Start a business. I moved to India after I graduated college, and I worked in shelter homes for kids there. Like I love adventures. I love things like that. But what I also know about myself is that my core desire is to be comfortable and not limited. So I don't like being told what to do. Hence why I guess I started a business. I don't like being limited or like being trapped in emotional pain or physical pain, things like that. So I know that if there's a lot of like dissension, like in a negative way, or like lack of harmony on my team, I'm going to be uncomfortable and I'm not going to perform my best. So what do I want to do? Oh, I want to learn the ways that are most effective for helping teams overcome conflict, to give and receive feedback well, right? So when you know that about yourself, you know how to apply it and then what to do. So that's part of your homework. So make sure you get a chance to do that, because you'll get a copy, you'll potentially get a copy of the book Dare to Lead by Brené Brown. So then what's the second thing? So remember, we said there are 2 things that are like holding you back, that are like preventing you from connecting with your team and getting them to do what you need them to do. So what might that be? Well, the second is really to motivate your team and understand what motivates them individually. For each person, it's going to be different things, right? Like for Becca and Mackenzie, I have to know that they are motivated and inspired in different ways, right? So we have to understand what motivates our team, what drives them, and then actually use it. That's going to actually help people understand what the needs are of them, so they will actually do the work that they need to. So I once went to a management training, like supervisory training a few years ago, and it was so awesome. Like I thought that it was going to be so cheesy and dumb and like old school, but the guy was awesome, and he was quite older when he led it, but I just thought he was so wonderful. And he said that as a manager, and you should write this down, it's in your workbook, the 2 main most important jobs you have as a manager are 1, to motivate and inspire your team members with the excitement and like to perform with excellence. Motivate and inspire them to perform with excellence. So you get the results out of them that they need. That's managing them. That's managing them well. And then number two, a lot of managers forget this, is to remove obstacles out of their way. So how do you learn what those obstacles are? How do you learn what motivates and inspires them? Well, you have to ask them, right? So that's in your workbook too. How do we learn what motivates and inspires people? We have to ask. And I have a nice little acronym for that. So if Becca or Mackenzie wants to type this in the chat, the way, because I think a lot of us are more visual learners and I don't want to just share, like say this to you, is to ASK. A is to first acknowledge what they said. Acknowledge their feelings. It's never helpful to just be like, oh, well, you need to get over that if somebody shares something with you that you don't connect with. Instead, you want to acknowledge it. Yeah, what I hear you're saying is the reason that you didn't submit something in time was because you're at max capacity. That's what I'm hearing you say. So you're acknowledging what they said to make sure that they understood what you truly that what they're truly trying to communicate. So we don't assume or misinterpret, right? A good manager also is sensitive to what they say. And I'm not saying be overly sensitive or cry with them or something. I'm saying don't shut their statement down and say, well, that you just need to learn how to manage your time better. Is that a helpful thing for a manager to say? That's not even real management. That's just spewing words at somebody, right? So a great manager, a revolutionary manager, a leader, somebody who uses like beyond just management, but leadership skills, is sensitive to what they say. Well, help me understand. How are you at max capacity? What are all the projects you're working on? Let's kind of walk through this together and figure out what could be delegated or taken off your plate, or maybe you could work more efficiently in one area. Be sensitive to those things, right? And then the K, so ask, is acknowledge, sensitive, and then K is knowledgeable. Be knowledgeable. When you're the manager, you're the supervisor of someone, you need to know and be knowledgeable about the solutions to their problems. So what obstacles in their way, figure out how to overcome that obstacle. Maybe it's advocating for them or your team to have better resources higher up in the organization. You have to talk to your boss or the C-suite or HR or something, IT, something like that, and be knowledgeable about who to go to, what to do to get the obstacle removed out of their way so that they can perform better. Maybe, we have everybody working at home these days, not everybody, but lots of people are working from home or working remotely, and they have kids or pets or whatever at their homes. And maybe, you're like, gosh, it seems like you're not available a lot during the day. Well, my kids are home and I'm helping them with schoolwork, or it's summertime and, we didn't sign up for any summer camps this year because of COVID or whatever. Maybe you say like, oh, well, would it be easier for you to work a little, like work after hours and like work at night or work on like weekends, whatever it is? Give them flexibility to work at the hours that work for them. If 8 to 5 is really, really busy family time, hey, maybe they don't need to work 8 to 5. Maybe you have them work sporadic hours throughout that. And then again, a little bit after 5, maybe on a weekend, they catch up on some extra work, whatever it might be. Maybe you say like, oh, like, we're not getting, like, email's too clunky and everybody has way too many things in their inbox. Maybe you say, okay, well, maybe we need to embrace Microsoft Teams chat or something like Slack. That's what our team uses. We love Slack. I think it's such a wonderful tool. And that is a free tool. We don't even use the paid version. It's so wonderful. And you don't even need to use a paid version if you don't have like a huge, huge team. So use something like that. You could use Google Chat, whatever it might be, like whatever your organization is using, embrace the chat feature, figure out what it is of the obstacles that is in their way. And those two things have a lot of components within them. But when you motivate and inspire people based on what drives them and remove obstacles out of their way, that you're doing your job as a manager. You're connecting with them. You're understanding what motivates them. So how can you get people to feel more empowered then? How can you get your team to feel engaged and satisfied so that they will do the things that you need them to do in order to hit the goals and have the output, the outcomes, the deliverables, whatever it might be? You have to listen to them. You have to show compassion. You have to connect with people. Brene Brown, who wrote Dare to Lead, that's the giveaway book for today. If you do the practice prompt, you'll be in the drawing for that. She says that based on her decades of research as a PhD social worker, somebody who's a researcher on this kind of stuff, she says that when she interviews leaders and team members and things, she says this quote, and I have it memorized because I use it all the time: care and connection are irreducible requirements for wholehearted, productive relationships between leaders and team members. So it's an irreducible requirement. You can't not have it. You must have care and connection if you want a productive and wholehearted connection and relationship with your team. And that's what you guys want as managers, right? That's what you want. You want to have like great, like high level leadership, right? And when I see, let's see, Benjamin said job description for each team member is not over. Yeah. I mean, this is good. I like when people share their same ideas and stuff too. And if you're talking about this in Facebook, don't worry. After this, I'll go to Facebook and I'll read everybody's comments so that everybody gets a chance to be acknowledged and things like that too. Let's see. Okay. So then your homework will also be your practice prompt. Don't worry. Will be again to do the Myers-Briggs or the Enneagram, things like that. And what I want you to do in the homework thread, when we post that after this today, what you'll do is like read your top 2 or 3 type results. Cause sometimes, you know, it'll say you're a 7 on the Enneagram, but really you're a 1 or a 2 or something like that. Read the top 3 or 4, I don't know, or 2 or 3, whatever, and see which one you relate to the best. Really see which one you say like, yeah, that's me. They're speaking to my soul. Because that's how I feel when I read the ESFP on Myers-Briggs and the 7 on the Enneagram. I feel like, wow, like this is nailing it. I'm understanding myself so much better because this is so aligned with me. So do that and then share about it in the homework thread, or you send your answer to hello@vaxacollective.com. And then what I want you to do is understand that what your type is and how it applies to your management skills and your leadership. So if I'm an ESFP and a 7, I know that I'm going to be a person who likes to have fun and joke around and things like that. So it's going to affect my team because we're going to probably develop a friendship. We're going to have an informal relationship. We may get off track. That would be my fault. I know that the people on my team keep us more on track, which is really great. It's a nice balance. So that's how it would affect my leadership skills. And I have to know that sometimes I have to be a little more, I hate to say professional because that I think that you can still be informal and professional. Sometimes I have to be a little more formal or focused to get things done. That's what I know about me. So as you guys are thinking about this, you'll be able to like analyze this in your practice prompt. And then if you want to kind of go like a little extra and do a little bit of bonus work, what you can also do is start or put this on your agenda for your one-on-ones with your team coming up. And if you're not a manager yet and you're like, oh, I'm just trying to do this so I can get some manager development before I'm in a management position, you can just start asking your team members. But if you are a manager, ask your team, the people who report to you, what motivates them? Like what drives them? If they're not sure, have them take some of the personality assessments, have them think about it and then get back to you at the next one-on-one. So you can send this in an email. You could ask about it verbally. You could ask about it in a department or team meeting, and then make sure you have a one-on-one conversation with people. So that's what I really encourage people to do. And then I'm not sure if this link works, but in YouTube, you can watch this amazing Simon Sinek speech where he talks about empathy and the importance of empathy from leadership within a company. So we may think empathy, like really, that is just so touchy feely. That's so fuzzy. Why would I care about that? Honestly, it is one of the most important things you can do. So to have empathy and compassion and to create what we'll talk about tomorrow, a psychologically safe workplace, that is like, as the kids are saying these days, the move. It's the move to be empathetic and compassionate and to care about your team. So watch that video if you have a little time. It's great because on YouTube, but you guys probably know this, but you can hit playback speed and make him talk a little faster. I always do that so that I can watch videos and listen to podcasts a little bit faster. So try to do that. And remember, you'll be able to pop your answer in the homework thread or at hello@vaxacollective.com. And you'll be able to be in the drawing for that book, Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. So make sure you do that. It'll be due by noon Central Time tomorrow so that I can announce the winner on the live tomorrow in the Zoom room and in Facebook. So make sure you do that, and then make sure you're checking your emails also, because you're going to be getting emails from me throughout this week with additional information, all the details, anything you might need to know. And then if you are like, I'm not getting these emails, it's probably going to your spam. So what I would suggest doing is just adding, like go to your spam, find the email from me, and like add me to your contacts, or you can hit reply and send a message about what you learned today or what you're looking forward to, or just saying hi, whatever, so that it then whitelists the email address and it won't go to your spam anymore. So try to do that. And then look through this group, like see what other questions you might have. Pop any questions in the Facebook group. Let us know a little bit more about you. I am always down to get to know more people. So this is awesome. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the most important factor that you'll really need to have on your team in order to manage people better. So when you manage people better, you have better outcomes. You're going to have the potential for more like a raise and a promotion. Like that's my goal. Like I want to get people in positions at their workplaces where they're like, oh my God, I'm making more money and I am having like amazing like outcomes from my team. I got a promotion. That's what I want you guys to have. So if you're like, oh my gosh, like what do I need to do to get there? Book your connect call with me. That link is in the chat. And if you're like, oh, where is it again? Just DM me or Becca and we can hook you up with that. So make sure you book that call. It's only, I think we do 15 or 20 minutes for that. And so you just connect with me. We can start figuring out what, areas you want to start improving in, and I will help you with that. So let's talk about that tomorrow or whenever you book your call. I'm really excited to do that. Well, we can have those through next week too, but like I want to do them this week. This is exciting. So tomorrow we're talking about the most important factor that you have to practice in order to help your team and have them be managed better. And then on Wednesday, we're talking about how to set yourself up for success as a manager and stop feeling overwhelmed. So these are two really, really important points. And I really want you guys to come back Tuesday and Wednesday. Then on Thursday, we'll have an office hours call. So it'll be an informal chance for us to all chat in Zoom, and you guys can bring questions. You can, you'll be able to like meet some people who've been in the program in the Revolutionary Leadership Lab, which is the group coaching program, and hear from them about their experience in it. Ask anybody questions about like, is it a good fit for you? Things like that. And on Friday, we're going to do another office hours in case you can't make it on Thursday. And then I have just the day blocked off so that you can book your connect calls. So Friday, let's do it. Let's book connect calls. And then this weekend, I mean, if you can't meet during the week, I'm always happy to meet on weekends. I'm moving Saturday, so we'd have to do Sunday. Or if you need an evening, just DM me or DM Becca and get a meeting with one of us. So I'm really excited, guys. We've got some great giveaways. We have some great takeaways that you'll have this week. So you're going to learn about the most important factor. You're going to learn how to set yourself up for success as a manager. These things are going to help you manage people well, be seen as a great leader within your company or organization, and then get a promotion. You have to stand out if you want things like that, right? If you want to make more money and you want to have a successful team and you don't want to be tossing and turning at night or dreading going to work the next day. Like, have you guys ever done that? I literally worked at this is the reason I started my company. I worked at such a toxic place before I started my business, and people would like literally say they would cry on their way to work. Like they'd be driving or they'd park in the parking lot and just burst into tears. It was such a terrible, toxic culture. It's awful. And what I learned was that, you know what? These people all want a better workplace culture. They all want leaders who push them and who challenge them and make them better, but also make them feel connected with and safe and cared for, connected with. We don't have to be miserable at work. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a master's degree in this stuff. And I mean, I can't believe it. I never thought I'd go back to school, but a 4.0 and graduate student of the year 2 years later, I graduate and I have a master's in organizational development, specializing in executive leadership development. This is the stuff I like care about. This gets me so excited. These are it helps me lean into my values. So if you're wondering like, well, like what gives you the right to talk about this, Haley? Well, I've got a master's in it. This is like my passion. This is my expertise. I want to help you guys. I want people to stop crying on their way to work. I was actually personally so distraught because of terrible leadership and a really toxic culture at the last place, same place I was just talking about, that for about 7 months, it was so bad internally in me. Like my anxiety was so bad that my hair was falling out, like more than just like normal when you brush your hair. Like in the shower, I had like way more hair coming out. I couldn't eat. And I have a pretty great appetite. It's never been a problem. That was the time of my life where I lost a bunch of weight because I bet I only ate around 200 calories a day or something. I could not intake really anything besides something like sweet and creamy, like yogurt or ice cream. Like I couldn't chew. I mean, it was bad. I couldn't fall asleep at night. And if I did, I'd wake up in like a sweat. It was terrible. Like, you don't have to be in an environment like that. And I really, really want you guys to be such excellent leaders that no one ever has experiences like that because of something that you do. I don't want you to have a team where you're like, gosh, everybody just kind of like throws in their bare minimum, they phone it in. That's not what we want here, right? We want to have a team. I mean, I think that's why you guys signed up for this free challenge, right? You probably want to be a leader who creates giant impact for their team, I hope, and that you provide a wonderful culture for them so that they feel like safe and connected with, so that they can do their jobs well. As one leader I've worked with says, he wants to hire people who are doing the best work of their lives at his company. And the reason that he and his business partner started the business was because they wanted to create the company that they would have wanted to work for themselves. I think that's amazing. And I hope that's the kind of leaders that you want to be too. I literally have a Post-it right across from me on my window, on the window ledge, that says, get to people before they become this particular person's name, this senior vice president who I worked with. And she was just so toxic and terrible. It was just, I think she's a pretty good person. I think that she just was a very underdeveloped manager and leader. And I don't want anybody to become this person. I don't want, and maybe I'll call her Tracy. Get to people before they become Tracy, right? Like, we don't want leaders like that. You don't have to be like that. Like, when I look at your names, like, I mean, I believe that like Lisa, Alyssa, Angie, Sophia, Sarah, Benjamin, Ashley, Emily, Mackenzie, Annette, like, you guys do not have to be leaders like that. You can be leaders who people are like, oh, I feel so safe going to Ashley, Alyssa, Benjamin. I feel like they want to empower me and motivate me to become an amazing leader. Like you have to work on these skills so that you have that type of culture on your team, and so that you have the potential to move upward in your company. Or if you're wanting to start your own company or something like that, you have to work on your management skills. It's just a non-negotiable, right? Like, it is absolutely so vital. And so like, make sure you book your Connect call with me, because I want to hear about like any management trainings you've had before, if you've had leadership development, and tell me like if it's something that you felt like, oh, it was really good, I learned a lot and I was totally prepared for management. Or if you're like, there's a lot of learning I need to do, Haley, help me out here. Like, book your Connect call. If Becky can put that link in again in the chat, that'd be great. And book your Connect call with me. It's a short call. I'm going to help you figure out like kind of where you're at. We're going to connect, and I'm going to make sure that this week is really, really, really customized and beneficial for you. So I see that Annette says, I could not sleep and drink due to my bad manager. I don't want people to feel this way. Annette, I am so understanding of that. It's awful. Like, when you have a bad manager, it affects every aspect of your life. And this is what I tell leaders too, either at the retainer clients that I have that are like companies, or people in my program and things like that. I tell people, and a lot of people in HR too need to know this. So if you're in HR, I think you make this difference also, especially if you are like a hiring manager or something. You affect people's lives so much. Like, we spend 8 or 9 hours a day, a lot of times, especially if we're in America, doing work, at work, driving to work, driving home from work, whatever it might be. And that's a huge chunk of time. About 40 hours of our week is used at work. We don't want that to be a miserable place. Like, we don't want, like, why in the world? I mean, what a capitalistic hellhole, I've once heard somebody say on TikTok, to like get up in the morning every day and hate what you do. Right. Or to be such a toxic leader that you're causing people to hate what they do, and they're wanting to like look for another job. They're not going to be performing with excellence if you're not creating an amazing culture, right? Like, you have to create intentionally a great culture so that you don't have people like needing to start taking like additional prescription pills and things like that. I'm all about medication. I think it's absolutely wonderful if you really need it. But do we want to cause depression and anxiety in people? Absolutely not. People need to get the medicines they need. That's wonderful, but we don't want to cause that kind of stuff. That would be very toxic leadership. So yes. So Annette, I'm glad you shared that. Being vulnerable, that's really, really meaningful. And I appreciate vulnerability a lot. So when we're thinking about that, how do I not be a bad manager? How can I help people like Haley and Lynette? Not Lynette. I do know Lynette. I haven't heard from her in a while. Annette, how do we make sure that the Haleys and Annettes of the world are not miserable, that they're able to eat, they're not overly drinking, they're not feeling anxious and depressed because of work? people may feel anxious and depressed, and that's absolutely fine. Please get on medication, take care of yourself. But we don't want to cause that. We don't want to be the kind of leaders who create a culture where people are so miserable, right? Like, let's be better than that. This is so exciting to think about how, guess what? Like, I have the potential to change lives. I can make people's lives better or worse. Why would I not choose better? Like, I want to choose to make people's lives fantastic and to make them feel fulfilled at work, to do the best work of their lives. Work does not have to suck. And you don't have to be a terrible leader. You can be a revolutionary leader who has amazing management skills and knows what the heck they're doing. So make sure you book that connect call with me. I'm so excited to connect with you guys. And when you do that, make sure that on the thank you page, you click add to calendar, because I think that sometimes people forget to do that and then they're not showing up to the calls. So make sure because we don't want to like book a call and not show up and then it blocked it out for somebody else who could have taken it. So make sure you do that so that you can like add it to your calendar. You'll have the Zoom link. And if you are like, I can't find it, always DM Becca or myself or email us and let us know. And we'll make sure you get that calendar link. But there is a like add to calendar button. So you can put that on your work calendar. So it's blocked off. You can make sure that you go to that quick meeting with me. I can't wait to connect with you guys. Thank you so much again for signing up for this. Let's change the world together. That sounds so cheesy, but really let's do it. Let's like make work not terrible. Let's make work not suck. Let's make it awesome. Let's be leaders who create fantastic cultures. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Thank you guys so much and have a wonderful Monday. Thanks, Benjamin. Thanks, Angie, Alyssa, Annette, Lisa, R. Delacruz, Sophia, Emily, Ashley, Mackenzie, Becca, Sarah. Thank you guys all so much. This was great. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.